Hi guys, I'm Kasia. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss horror, to discuss movies, and today I'm here to talk to you about The Menu.
It's coffee time!
Now, The Menu is not per se a horror movie, but I was really intrigued about this very specific release because of the plot, the trailer, the cast, and I was really excited that I got to go to the premiere here in the Netherlands. I went yesterday and the movie's coming out in a couple of days, so at least I was able to see it a little bit ahead of time in this country. I know it's been out in other countries already, but I was just so excited, and to be honest, it did not disappoint. Now, I said it's not a horror movie, even though officially this is an American dark comedy horror, so they do title this as a horror movie, but I felt like it was less horror than a dark comedy or a thriller. It is directed by Mike Millard, and one of the favorite things for me in this movie was the cast. I felt like the cast was just completely on point. Ralph Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult, and Anya Taylor-Joy were the main three characters in a way, even though this movie is really character based, so there's a lot of strength put in their characters and character development throughout the film. So those three were absolutely fantastic, and I was really happy to see them in this movie. I think it was the perfect cast, so I'm glad they went with them and not with other names that were thrown into the mix at the beginning when they were considering to do this movie. The film focuses on a young couple who visits an exclusive destination restaurant on a remote island where the acclaimed chef has prepared a lavish tasting menu along with some shocking surprises. The menu is going to have some unexpected ingredients and some unexpected turns of events. And when you see the trailer for this film, you get an idea of what you're gonna get, and you could start kind of seeing where things potentially were going, but there are still some things that you will not know if you've seen the trailer. It's not a trailer that really spoils all the fun, and this movie definitely left me wanting more. So the director did a choice here. He was going to address the elitism in the gourmet world, and that's what he went for, and that is why we got the specific set of characters that are all kind of related to this world of elitism, to the world of gourmet and the critics and all of that. You know, the snobs, the culture journalists, the famous actors, people that know, they think they know better than the chefs, all of those type of characters. So Nicholas Hoult, that plays one of the main characters here, he is the food connoisseur, the guy that thinks he's a foodie and knows everything about food and about the chef, and he's a fan. And he's the one that arrives to the island together with Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And I really like this couple's dynamic in the movie. I feel like he played perfectly his part of being arrogant, but also a little bit stupid. And Anya Taylor-Joy is just fantastic. The way she approached this role was perfect for this movie. She brings kind of a little bit of sex appeal, but at the same time, she keeps things mysterious and she keeps a lot of tension in the movie. Fiennes here in this movie, who plays the chef that organizes the menu, organizes these events, is absolutely extraordinary because you can never really truly tell what is going on in this guy's mind. His mimic is so subtle. He changes from one like feeling to the next, and it leaves you a little bit unsettled a lot of times. And the way he plays this character, almost like a cult leader in a way, is just superb. He was fantastic in this movie, and as much as I love Anya Taylor-Joy, he was the star here because his performance was just, wait for it, chef's kiss. Like, you don't know if he's gonna say something nice or if he's just gonna turn into a psychopath. Like, the way his face twitches and changes ever so slightly, it's just so unsettling. I don't know how better to describe that, but the work, the acting work just on his close-ups on his face, it's just stunning. And he's this chef that has basically invited people to this remote island to taste his food. He does that every now and then, and getting a ticket there is really expensive and really exclusive. I think you pay over $1,000 just for one person to be able to dine there. And they're in this reclusive island, so it's like the experience and this modern cuisine. And he really does play the part of this kind of eccentric chef. So these are our three main characters, but we are also introduced to some of the other guests in the restaurant, as well as the staff members. And everybody seems in one way or another a little bit like they're hiding something. You know, it felt a little bit like the movie Knives Out at times, where you have a bunch of people that have been summoned somewhere and you feel like they're kind of hiding secrets from each other. That kind of movie kind of dynamic between the characters, where you know there's a lot of things that need to be revealed. And as we get on and on with the different courses in the menu, secrets are going indeed to be revealed, and it's one of the most beautiful things of the film when you get to see every course in the menu being served. So that's all I can kind of tell you when it comes to the plot and stuff, because there's a lot of things that, you know, might spoil or might give away too many things. But when it comes to the visuals, the movie is really pleasing. The colors, the lighting, everything is so wonderfully done. There is many shots like from above the restaurant that are fantastic. This island that is kind of abandoned, you don't get to see so much of the island apart from the restaurant, but they did manage to bring you this kind of idyllic kind of island feeling, but make it creepy. They really did achieve that feeling. Now when our customers arrive, they are still in the daylight, but it's soon we have nightfall, and then things get really dark inside and outside of the restaurant. You can tell that this is a restaurant with a lot of luxury, like all of the work that was put on the sets and everything was fantastic. It is one of those movies where you have a very limited amount of actors because it's just the people that are in the restaurant, so the cast was small, and you do get to hear conversations from different guests, so you're kind of always getting to know them a little bit better as we move on and on with the plates on this menu. I really like the score because I felt like it added to the tension, so it helped to keep that tension going throughout the whole film. And another thing that I really liked, and I felt like a lot of people in the cinema really enjoyed this as well, was when they were bringing up the course names. Like every time they would serve something, they would tell you what it is and what it has, and they are kind of making the viewer, the audience in the cinema, participate and be a part of the menu. It's almost as if they are serving you that specific food and they are serving you other things that happen. And I felt like it was almost as being a little bit self-aware, like the film at times felt a little bit self-aware, and I would not say really meta, but it's really hard for me to describe. Like I felt like they were engaging you as an audience in order to participate in this restaurant. It almost felt like you were there and you were also getting served. But there are some things that I felt like could have been done a little bit better. There are some things that don't add up, like some decisions that the characters make, they were not really logical in a way, or not what you would expect in certain situations. And also there are some subplots that are being brought up, but then they're never fully finished or explored. Now let's go to the horror. So the horror, there are definitely some twists and turns and some unexpected moments. Other ones you're gonna see coming, of course. I felt like the build-up was the best part. When they start to build up the whole scene, they're building up, you know, the restaurant, the people, the reasons why people are there, the secrets they have, all of these things that you always expect from this type of films. That build up, that tension setting was so good and satisfying. The problem is when they started delivering, I felt like they didn't go full out. I felt like when it comes to the horror, they should have pushed the limit a little bit more, and that's what left me a little bit hungry. I mean, I'm sorry, but you know, I just love to make bad jokes. I mean, do expect some horror elements in this movie, and definitely one of the things this movie is gonna give you is this feeling of feeling really uncomfortable or things are really unsettling more than real full-on horror. But I felt like they did such a good job, and honestly, I really enjoyed the film. And I did enjoy the ending. At the end of the day, I gave this movie a 4 out of 5. I felt like it was fantastic. I love to see these kind of movies that are merging different genres together and are able to bring us a different experience. This was definitely an experience, almost as if you would be there in this restaurant getting this experience with the rest of the characters. I love that they did something a little bit different in a way, even though there are things you're gonna see coming, because it's what you kind of expect from this type of film. I do recommend you guys to go and check it out if you can in the cinema. I feel like this is definitely worth your time. I cannot wait for you guys to watch it and get to that ending. I personally loved it, but I understand why some people might not be so excited about it. But I loved it. It reminded me of another horror movie whose name I shall not say for spoiler purposes, but I just loved it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the spoiler-free review. Let me know down below if you guys have already watched The Menu, what you thought of it. Let's talk about it in the comments, and I hope to see you all, as always, in our next coffee time. Bye!